everybody. It is 11 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call to order the Friday, November 19th special meeting of the Michigan City Board of Public Works and Safety. We have two items on the agenda. Both of them involve the Festival of Lights. The first one that we are going to address actually has to do with a motion that we had tentatively passed, conditional on some changes in the paperwork, but the paperwork we eventually got included some further changes that went beyond the scope of those that we had discussed at the meeting, and I was uncomfortable signing them without having the entire board together. Terry, can you go ahead and brief us on the changes that were made to the contract beyond the change from mugshots to city lanes?
Yes, Terry Greetham, Director of Special Events for the City of Michigan City. The one significant change was in the compensation. City Lanes and Phil Goshrowski, who is providing the bar service for the event, and also the band for the event, was also going to give us $1,000 sponsorship. Due to the cost of the insurance, the original insurance that he was anticipating was $1 million in coverage. We then asked for $4 million in coverage, and he was not going to be able to do the event at that. We went down to $3 million in coverage, which he was able to do, but unfortunately, because of the increased cost of the insurance, the cost to him tripled. He's unable to do the $1,000 sponsorship. For an event like this, if we were doing a 3-day event spread over time and he had 3 days, 8 to 10 hours a day to make money, it would not have been as much of an issue. But this is a 4-hour event, and with $1,000 plus another $750 for the insurance plus the cost of the band, it was just not going to be worth it. So the change is to take the $1,000 sponsorship out of the contract.
Okay, very good. And again, to clarify, I am not at all opposed to taking the $1,000 stipulation out of said contract, but I didn't think that it was something that I alone wanted to be able to say, yes, we will forego the $1,000 agreement, which is why I brought Mayor and Ms. Keating together. Do either of you have any objection to passing this without the $1,000
I do not.
payment? Okay, none. Okay, would I entertain Amber, all of the paperwork is in order at this point?
Yes.
Okay, very good. Could I entertain a motion to approve the agreement between City Lanes and Michigan City?
Motion to approve, Mr. President.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Ms. Keating?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Okay, and we have one other item having to do with an agreement between the Michigan City of Michigan City and the LaPorte County Draft Horse Association. Terry, can you tell us a little bit about this one? And I know that there's a certain difficulty that we're seeing if we can't come up with a solution for.
Yes, so the idea here is working with the LaPorte County Draft Horse Association. They're going to bring out 4 horse-drawn wagons, and as part of the festival is to take people from the senior center around the lights and so that they could see the lights and kind of that whole, horse-drawn carriage type idea. They've committed to it. The compensation is the city will pay them $1,500 for their services to bring 4 wagons and horses out. We ran into a little bit of a hiccup that we're trying to work through right now. The clerk's office was good enough to help me understand a little bit more about the Michigan City Police Department carriage driver license application process, where each of the drivers of these wagons has to apply for a driver's license, a carriage driver's license, or a carriage driver's license. Then once approved, each of the wagons have to go through an inspection process. The challenge right now is that the Draft Horse Association is not like a typical company where you just send it in. There's one person there that can manage all of this. They have a president of the association, but all of the members are spread out all over LaPorte County. Some of them in very rural areas. Some of them don't have internet. Some of them don't have the ability to fax or or email this type of information. So I spoke to the president yesterday. He said he's going to get this information out to them with the hopes that they can get it completed and back to him so that he can get it to us. And then I talked with Captain Lineski about a process by which we'll inspect the wagons when they arrive. The goal will be hopefully that they understand the inspection process in advance so that they don't show up with something that has a chance of not passing, because then they've come all the way here with a horse and wagon as far as, equipment. We'd like to move forward with the contract so that we're ready to go. But of course, it is pending that all drivers and vehicles have the proper permits and inspection forms.
Okay, very good. And again, I mentioned that I'm glad the captain is here. One difficulty in all of this is that this is on the same night as the lighting of the Christmas tree, and there's going to be other logistics. Captain, can you potentially speak to us? Is this a feasible idea? Are we our eyes potentially to make this happen in your eyes?
I believe so. It's going to be kind of the same situation we were in last week when we approved Fish Camp application. They've been doing this for as long as I can remember. The carriages at the lighting of the Christmas lights. We've never had an issue before. I think as long as you approve it today, we shouldn't have an issue as long as all the paperwork is filled out before the event. I should have about an hour between the end of the parade and the beginning of the carriage rides to inspect the carriages.
Okay. Mayor Perry or Ms. Keating, do either of you have any questions or concerns about potentially tentatively agreeing on this contract?
No, I think this is fine.
Just two small ones from me, Mr. President. Captain, I think, are any of these carriage services the same ones that we used last year, that were there last year? Because if they are, we shouldn't have any issue with them because they passed last year.
I think the issue is we've never actually required an inspection of them before.
Okay.
I guess it was just an oversight that we've never required this process for them before. But since this is the first year, there may be a few hiccups because we're going to be constrained in time. However, Terry informed me that he's going to work with all of the teams involved to make sure that their equipment is going to pass the inspection before they arrive on scene.
Sure, I'm just curious. And the other question is this requirement that they have a driver's license. Is that a local requirement, state of Indiana requirement?
These are all, I guess, established ordinances that we weren't aware of a few years ago.
In Michigan City?
Yes.
Oh, so it's local requirement. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Just, I'm sorry, just one, it's ordinance number 3840. And again, thanks to the clerk's office for giving me the information. So, but again, we hope that we're going to still be able to do this. We probably won't advertise that we're going to have the horse-drawn wagons. It'll be just a bonus when people come down, because if for some reason we are not able to get them there, I don't want people to be expecting them and not have them. The rides will be free. There's no cost for the rides. So,
okay. Ms. Keating?
3840, yes.
I would say if you are ready to entertain a motion.
Yes, I am ready to make a motion. My motion is to approve the agreement for professional services between the City of Michigan City and the Fort County Draft Horse Association, contingent on the successful completion of the inspection of carriages prior to the event, as well as the submittal of the appropriate driver's licenses for each operator prior to the event.
Support that?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. And Mayor Perry?
Aye.
Ms. Keating?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. The one thing I will ask, Terry, can you please keep me abreast of this as the time approaches? Obviously, this event is prior to our next meeting, but if there's any changes or anything that we would need to know about, please let me know, okay? All right, with that, I would go ahead and entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. President.
Okay,
Second.
a motion and a second. Mayor Perry? Ms. Keating?
Aye.
I vote aye as well. Go Wolves. Have a good night, everybody. Thank you.